Imagine that you have analyzed your data. You have developed themes to help you to address your research question. And the next thing that you have to think about is developing visual representation. So if you are using NVivo Mac version, you can do visual representation to help you to make sense of your data. One thing that you have to think about visual representation is that you don't have to create all of them for you to present that information to your audience. You just have to choose the one that will help you to make sense of your data to help your audience to better understand the themes that you are going to talk about. So make sure that you understand the visual representation before you can present that information. So for beginners, you just focus on the simple ones and just create the simple visual representation that will help you to communicate your findings in a meaningful way. So let's go and let me show you how to do it. As you can see here, I have my themes. I've developed themes for my research question. I have two research questions, burnout causes, and a second research question about burnout solutions, and I have themes for that. The next step is to try to create tables and charts and visual representations that could be helpful for you. You go to Explore, and the first one that we want to look at is text search. So this is where you search for a specific word or a phrase and see how participants use that information, or see how the words were used when they were responding to your questions. How do you do that? Go to Explore and then click on Text Search. What you're going to do is to search for a specific word that you are interested in. I'm interested in how they use profession. And then you click on Selected Item. This is where you are telling NVivo which document they should search. So you can choose a specific transcript or file that is to search the word, or you can choose all of them. There's another option for you. Instead of choosing the files, you can choose the codes. So you can go to code and then choose the themes that you are interested in. So this means that the system will go through the significant information that have been connected to the themes and search for the particular word that you are looking for. So if you are interested in that, you can do that. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I will go to Files and then select the ones that I'm interested in. You can click on Select and you can go to Run Query. So as you can see here, it looks like the profession can be found in all the participant files, right, from 1 to 5. It was used one time in participant 1 transcript and was used 2 times in participant 2, 1 in participant 3, 2 times in participant 4, and 1 in participant 5 document or transcript. When you go to reference, it will give you how it was used. It looks like profession was used mostly in the question that the interviewer asked participants, but there are some places that participant uses, as you can see it here, right? When I first began my profession in healthcare, so you can see that participant use this information, and I think there's another place where participant use, okay, I think this one too, right? So it will show you the source where the word profession was used. If you want to go into the transcript, you can click on the blue sign and it will take you to where it was used. So you can see that it was used for the interview questions and also participant response here. You can close it and we can go back. And you can also click on word tree. So the word tree will give you a visual representation of how profession was used before and after. So as you can see here, when you click on any of the phrases before, it will give you the words that follow. So that's how you can use this one. You can click on it and see the phrase that was used before and after. And if you want to increase the words before and after, if you want to increase the context, you can just move this bar to the right. So you can see here that I've made it 10 words before and after, right? You can also reduce it if you want to. This one will be very useful if you are presenting the themes and then you are talking about what participants were saying. You can use this visual representation to just show to your audience evidence of the things that they were saying using profession. Also, you can search for more than one word. You can say you are searching for profession or working. Let me see whether I can find anything about that. Yes, so you can see here that you have working, and working was used, and then you see how it was used before and after. When you can click on it and change it to profession, then you can also see how profession was used, especially if you want to compare how working and profession was also used. If you want to export, you just have to use your two fingers to click on your computer pad where you click on, and then it will show export so that you can export that information. You can also print that. When you export, you can export it in PDF format and you'll be able to use it. When you export, it will show something like this. It will not show what you have highlighted, right? So if you want to show the highlighted one, then you have to do a screenshot, especially if you want to demonstrate how it was used. There's one way of doing a visual representation. You can save it. When you save it, the information will be here so that you can come back to it. If you don't save it, don't worry, you can redo it again. Also, there's an option here if you want to include STEM words. Let's say you are searching for talk. If you choose this one, you are telling the system that you are searching for not only talk, but also talking and talks and any word that, have the STEM word of talk. Normally, I just choose the first option. As I said, you can always go back and choose you want the system to search. The next one that we want to focus on is word frequency. This function is good if you want to determine the number of times some words were used. So if you want to know the number of times some words were used, you click on that, right? Word frequency. And then you go to selected items and you can choose all the transcript or the ones that you are interested in and go to select. So then what you have to do is to click on run query. So you click on run query, and as you can see here, burnout was mentioned 22 times, physician was mentioned 13 times. You have the opportunity to stop some words, but we don't want to focus on it right now. But the most important thing here is it is showing you the words that participants use and how many times. And when you click on word cloud, it will show you a visual representation of the kind of words participants use. The bigger the font, the higher the number of times they use. You click on the gallery here and you can make changes based on the color that you want and the shape that you want. So for me, I like this one. And then you can see burnout was mentioned frequently. Experienced physician was mentioned frequently, right? This looks very nice, but always make sure that first you understand this visual representation and also it's going to be useful for your presentation. Maybe this one will not be useful for presenting of your teams. So you always have to think about the usefulness of the visual representation before you use it because you don't want to confuse your audience. This one will be useful if you are maybe presenting a theme and the kinds of words that they are using correspond to the theme that you are presenting. Then this one will be very useful, right? There's an option for you to stop a specific word from showing here. Let's say you want to stop the word take, right? So you click on that and then press on Control and click on it again. And then you can go to add to stop word. So this means that you don't want this word to show here. When you finish, you have to click on it again. Click on run query so that the system will take that information out. So if you want to see where you have put all the stop words, you go to File, and then you go to Project Properties. And then you can see here that stop words are here. These are all the words that the system has added to the stop words so that it will not be shown when you are doing a visual representation. If you want to take some out, you want it to be shown on the visual representation, just take it out. It also contains the ones that you just added. Let's say you added a lot of stop words and then you want to bring them back. You can just click on Restore Default. So when you click on that, it will take that information that you stopped already back to the diagram. And let's see. So we took off take and then we click on here. Let's see whether it came back and click on OK and click on OK here and run query again. You see that take has come back again right here. Another thing that you could do is that let's say you want to see how help was used. You want to search for the word help. You can click on help, press on control, click on the word again and go to run search query and click on word tree. So this one will show you how help was used, the words that was used before and after. So you see how you can still run test search when you have your word cloud. Okay, if you have any question, put your question in the comment section. I'll be happy to address them for you. You can subscribe to my channel so that when I put a new video, you get a notification, and then that will also help promote my work too. So thank you for subscribing. Let's go to matrix coding query. Matrix coding query is so important when you want to find out the connection between the participant cases and the themes that you have, or participant attributes or demographic information and the theme that you have created, right? So we can do some examples for you to see what I'm talking about. Click on metric coding query and you click on the plus sign and go to select items. And now you could either select these transcripts or select the cases. So you can select the cases or you can select the files. So let's select the files first and see how the themes came out. We are comparing the participant files or the transcript with the themes that we got, right? We click on this, the plus sign here, select items, and then this time you click on code. Let's select themes that we develop under the second research question, and then click on OK, and then click on run query. There's a table here for you telling you the connection between the participant and also the themes that you develop for research question 2. As you can see here, two significant information connects participant 1 and the first theme. So this means that there's two significant information that was extracted from participant 1 document and was connected to this theme. You can see here 0. There's nothing was extracted and connected to this theme. If you want to know what's in here, you double click and it'll take you to the participant information. You can click on this blue link and it will take you to the main transcript and see where the information was extracted. So you can close it and we go back again. This one will be useful if you export it and then put it in Excel spreadsheet, and then you can do some visual representation. You can do charts based on this information. So that's what this is all about. If you want to show participants and which team they are connected to, this table will be so helpful for you. Let's assume that we want to look into participant demographics, right? You click on minus sign so that you delete information here. And then we click on plus sign. This time we're going to select attributes values. So the attributes, as you know, they are variables. You shouldn't focus on this part. You have to focus on information under case classification. And let's assume that we are looking into participant gender, right? And let me scroll down a little bit. And then I choose male and I press on control, choose female. And then I click on select attribute values. The values are the categories, the male and females, right? The attributes are variables like gender. So we want to see the males and the females and then find out the connection between gender and the themes that was developed, right? So I click on run query, and now I see that here you can expand it a little bit. Let me move this one here. You expand it so that you can see which ones are the males. So the females, 4 significant information was connected to the first team, 2 significant information was connected, one. So you can see how the pattern is, right? For the first 3 themes, males were not connected to the themes, right? But the last one were connected, right? So you can see the pattern and see what is going on. Why are males connected to the last 2, but not the first 3, right? That's what you can also explore and see. You can double click on one of the cells there to see what was said, and then you can click and see the context. So that's how you use the metrics. Let me clear this one, minus. You click on the plus sign, you go here, and let's try, you can do the same thing for work experience. So you can bring it down and select the years of experience that you want. You can select all of them. You select the first one. You can press on shift and select all of them. You click on select attribute value, and then you can run the query. So this is what you can see. And if you want to see the numbers, you pull this one here and you can see it. If you want to export, you can click with 2 fingers on the computer pad here so that it gives you option to export. You go to share, and then you click on spreadsheet and you'll be able to export it, right? So that's how you can export. So now I think we are done with matrix code query. Let's move to the next one. One thing that will be useful for you is the cross-tabulation. Cross-tabulation is quite similar to the matrix coding table, but it doesn't hurt to go there and explore and see what you're going to get and see whether it's going to be useful for you when you are presenting your findings, right? Go to cross-tabulation, and then you close this part so that you can see the workspace. You see codes here, so you can choose the codes that you want to look into, all the themes. So let's say I want to look into all the themes for the research question 1. I select all of them, and then I click on select, and that information will be here. And here is attributes. So attributes are variables. So it's asking you what kind of variables are you looking into. And then the attributes, you have the classification, right? So we are looking at case classification, the container that we have all the demographic information. So you choose the container, which is the participant ID, the last one. So you see here, case classification. Under that, I chose the participant ID. And here will be the attribute, the variable that you are interested in. Maybe you are interested in their age, or maybe you are interested in their ethnicity. Then also down here, beside the ethnicity, what other variables are you interested in? Maybe you are interested in gender, but before we do the second one to make it a little bit complex, let's try this one first and we come back to it. And then you indicate where the system should search, right? So the system will search in the files and externals. The files are the transcript that you imported and analyze. When you are done, you just choose the first option and then click on run query. So this is what you're going to get. So as you can see here, it's quite similar to the one that we did for the matrix coding query. But the only difference is that this one is giving you some numbers up here and numbers down, the number of significant information connected to a specific code or connected to a specific group, right, of participants based on the ethnicity. So this is what you're going to see. You see the themes here, and also it gives you the columns, which will be each of the ethnicity group that you have. Another thing that we can also explore is that let's really look into the agenda, and then we can add a second layer, maybe age, and then you can click on run query. It's a little bit complex, so what is done here is you see here that the system group you have two groups now based on gender. Females, they are three, and males are two, right? So under the female, we have the age, and then also the significant information that are connected to the themes. It looks a little bit complex, but I think that if you take your time and look at it well, you'll be able to understand. Let me take the age out and just see. So when we take the age out and then we run query, this is what we're going to see. We see the male, female, and also the total. And then you see how two significant information are connected to this theme. You see number 3, it tells you that there are 3 females here and we have 2 males. So this means that all the information, significant information that can be connected to these 3 participants. And all the information here can be connected to the 3 females, and all the information here can be connected to the 2 males, right? And you can see the total here is the number of participants, right? The total number of participants are here, and the total number of participants is 2, right? And then here is 3. It's quite similar to the numbers up here, 3 and 2. And here will be the number of significant information, right? So you see 2 significant information was connected to this theme, and then the total will be 2 here. 2 significant information that are connected to female were also connected to this theme, having high workload. And then another one was connected to the male and also connected to that theme. So these numbers here are the significant information, right? And these number here are the number of participants. It looks a little bit confusing, but if you take your time, so the numbers here, the total number here is the number of participants. The total number here is the number of significant information connected to the theme that you can see here. And then you see here when we bring age into the equation now and run query, you see how now under females, we have these age groups or the ages, right? Under males, we have these ages, and that's breaking them down. It looks complex a little bit. If it looks too complex and you don't understand it well, please don't use it. Always make sure that you understand it before you use it and then present your findings. You can still send this one to Excel for you to do a visual representation. Maybe that will be helpful for you. So when you create a chart, it will help you to understand these numbers better. So if you want to export it, you click with 2 fingers to give the options and go to share and then click on spreadsheet so that you'll be able to save, right? Now that we've finished with this one, we can go to hierarchy. Hierarchy is not really useful for me. We can try and see. So when you create a hierarchy, this is what you're going to see. You see that this is for research question 1, right? And under that, we have the themes. So we have the theme called having high workload. We have being new to the profession. We have another theme here, putting in extra effort and having less time for family. This just show you which theme is dominant. The bigger the space, the higher the dominance, right? So you can see here that this code having high workload is more dominant compared to the other ones. The dominance is based on the number of significant information. As you can see here, when you bring the cursor here, you can see here that the number of significant information is 7, right? You see the 7 aggregated items coded, right? Here is 3 aggregated items. Here, I think is 2, and here is 2. When you go to this place, is 4. Here will be 3. Here is also 2. And there's another one here, that's 2. And there's 1 here. So it just shows you the number of significant information, and the bigger the number, the bigger the space, right? So I don't know whether this one will be useful for you, but you can explore and see whether it will be useful. You can also explore here too, right? You can explore here. We can choose some of the options and see what you're going to get, right? So one I normally don't use map because it's not all that user friendly for me, right? It may be user friendly for you, but it's not all that user friendly for me, so I don't use that part. What I use is the diagrams, and that's my favorite. You click on diagrams, right? And then you're going to compare, you can compare files, you can compare codes, you can compare cases. So you only compare two things, two items at the same time. You cannot compare more than two. So you click on compare, and then let's say you want to compare participant one. So you click on that and click on command and click on participant three. We are comparing participant one and three and see what we're going to get. You click on select, and this is what will show. Looks so very nice. And then if you want to make it larger, you click on this part and make it larger, right? So as you can see here, this one will show you what these two have in common. Participant P1 and P3, what do they have in common? They have research question one has connection with them. This means that there are some information that was extracted from both to address the research question one. And also they have theme, this theme having less time for family. They have some connection with that theme. They also have a connection with the second research question and this theme having time with family. This one will be very useful when you are presenting your findings and you want to compare two participants because it shows what they have in common and what they don't have in common. You see the things that are outside here, it shows what they don't have in common. And then when you look at this place, you can eliminate some of the items there. So if you unclick course coding, this is what you're going to see. If you unclick case coding, this is what you're going to see. You can bring this one back, right? And you can bring that one back. And also you can uncheck connection labels. It will take that labels here that shows the connection. So you just have to explore and see whether it makes sense to you. You can make it wider and then you can export. If you want to export, you click with your two fingers and then you can export the diagram, right? Or you can print it out. Or you can screenshot too. Let's explore the second one. Let me go back here. Let me go to diagram. This time we are going to compare codes. So let's compare this code with another code for research question 2. So you press Control and select, and then click on select. So what do they have in common? They have the cases in common, P5 case and then its files, and then P4. They have this one. This one is going to be useful if you want to see what they have in common in terms of the participants. And I think you can also explore more if you check parents to show you their research question connected to the theme, right? And then when you click on children, it will also show you the codes that are connected to the theme here, right? So you see how interesting this one is, right? Giving you the research question, the code here, and the theme, and participants who are connected to that, and the same thing here too. And you can always uncheck or check, right? Let's try the last one, which is comparing cases. So when you go here, let's compare this one with maybe the 5. Select. So this is what you're going to get. Participant P1 and 5, they have these in common. They have a code in common, research question 1, a theme, another research question 2, and also a theme. They have that in common. This one is so interesting if you want to know the background of each of the participants, right? The background in terms of their demographic. You can check attribute values. And then the demographic information will be coming. So you see the demographic information here, demographic. So it's so interesting if you are talking about what they have in common and then you want to know their demographic information too, you can also provide that information. If it's too crowded, you can take some things out maybe files or the code to be out, you can see they are females. So you see what they have in common, right? This is what they don't have in common. So you see how interesting this diagram can really help you to compare cases. So this is what I have for you. As I said, not all of the diagram will be useful for you. You just have to take the one that you really understand and is going to add value to what you're going to present. If you have any question, put it in the comment section. I'll be happy to address them for you. And if you want one-on-one consultation, you can contact me. I'll be able to help you in analyzing your data. I also offer workshops. So check in the description section and see the upcoming workshop. We do hands-on analysis of data so that you can get rich skills so that you'll be able to use the skill to do your work. Thank you.